expect after this long layoff?
Now you can expect the same Danny Garcia. I feel good. I've been feeling good sparring. I've been feeling good training. I really feel like nothing's really changed. You know, if anything, the 2-year layoff helped me. You know, my body feels recovered. I have no injuries. My mind feels good. My body feels good. So I feel like, you know, you're going to see a great Danny Garcia that night.
Yeah, and you know, there was talk in the past for Canelo. A lot of people disputed that decision. Some people think he won. He's notoriously been a tricky fighter. How do you anticipate dealing with Lara's style?
Yeah, definitely. He definitely is a tricky fighter. He's one of the best boxers you could get in the ring with, you know, skill-wise. So, you know I got my work cut out for me, but we're training. We got the right game plan, and we're gonna go in there and execute.
Yeah, and you know, last question for me. It's a fight, obviously, for the 160-pound title that Lara has. You know, there's a lot going on at 160 and 154. You know, if you stay at 160, you got guys like Janabek, Adames. You go to 154, you got Crawford, Fedor Spence, whoever wins that fight. Murder Zaliev. You know, you got a lot going on between those two divisions.
Definitely.
And I know you're probably telling me, Danny, you focus on this fight, but I gotta ask, if you had a preference going forward, what would you do next and who would you fight?
You know, at the end of the day, it has to make sense. You know, whatever fight makes the most sense for me. And obviously the most money, because at this part of my career, I'm only doing big things, you feel me? So whatever makes the most sense. But definitely anybody, any of those big names, I would love to fight.
A rematch with Spence? You know, a Crawford fight that never happened?
Like I said, I will always love, you know, I want to avenge one of my losses. So, you know, if it's not Thurman, then I would love to fight Spence too.
Danny, you made the one fight against Benavidez in 154. Why 160 now, after just one fight at 54?
You know, going into that Benavidez fight, you know, I was actually, before that fight, I think Lara came up in the conversation when I was speaking to my team. And I said, look, let me get this Benavidez fight to test the water at 154. And then I think Lara agreed to fight me at 155. But, you know, 2 years went past, and the fight was always agreed to. It just took time because I guess the Showtime thing. But the fight is agreed to at 157, right? It's a catch weight. But there's no rehydration clause.
You mentioned something interesting. 2 years have passed. Grant, you're 2 years older, but he's older than you. He's 2 years older. He's over 40 years old. Do you think that maybe helps even the playing field out, you know, with the size difference?
Yeah, definitely. I know if I feel the pain, I'm 36. He definitely got to feel the pain at 41. Waking up all sore. But I feel good. You know, like I said before, I felt rejuvenated. I feel like, you know, I haven't lost a step, really. I'm in here sparring with the young guys, veterans, everyone. I was sparring with Devin Alexander. I was sparring with Antonio Tarver's son already. So big guys. And I'm feeling good.
My last question, what would it mean to you to become a three division world champion?
Oh, that'd mean the world to me. You know, that's a dream come true. It's always been a dream of mine to be a 3-division world champion. And it's right here. It's 3.5 weeks away. And we're doing everything we need to do to make sure that we come home with that victory.
Danny, would you say that Lara is the most skillful fighter that you ever fought?
He's definitely skilled. You know, every fighter is skillful in different ways. You know, Amir Khan was a hell of a talent. You know, Keith Thurman was a hell of a talent. Zab Judah was very skillful. You know, I would think Zab is probably the hardest style to beat, you know, for my style. But as far as southpaws, I feel like I do a great job with southpaws, you know. But he definitely is skillful, and I'm definitely the best fighters he's fought in a long time also.
Did you ever face a Cuban style in amateurs?
I never faced a Cuban. I was supposed to go to a tournament called the Cuban Olympiad, I remember, like in 2007. But when we went to Colorado Springs, we didn't have the right visa, so we couldn't go. But I never faced a Cuban boxer, never.
Is that something that's always been on the list?
I mean, it's not really on my list, but, you know, I fight Philly fighters as slick as they can get. I've been doing that since I was a kid, so slickness is really nothing to me at this point in my career.
Yeah, you went through the Cherry era, remember that? Yeah. And now look at your resume now, there's like not even many people who come close to your resume.
Right.
What say about you about something like that?
You know, when you're doing something good, they always got something bad to say. You know what I'm saying? That's how it was at that point in my career, because I was the underdog, like, fighting Amir Khan, then I was the underdog fighting Matisse, and I was beating everybody. And then I came off fighting 6 straight world champions, and then I fought Ross Salko, and then I got called a cherry picker. But if any other fighter did it, it would have been cool. But, you know, at the end of the day, I did what I love to do. I fight the best because I believe I could beat them. And that's why I'm here today. I'm still standing.
Danny, a fight that just happened a couple weeks ago, Ortiz and Bochuk, you know, there's controversy about the decision. Just wanted your thoughts on it. It happened at 154 division. You could potentially fight in again. How did you see that fight?
That was a tough fight. It could have been a draw. It could have been a draw only because the other guy scored 2 knockdowns. Ortiz I think he made the fight a lot harder than he could have made it because he was throwing everything hard and fast. He wasn't really like taking his time. He was really just trying to get him out of there. And I think he kind of tired himself out, and that's why Bocek was able to stay in the fight and land some big punches. But it was a hell of a fight. I had it a draw.
Danny, what do you think about Crawford versus Canelo? There are a lot of rumors that that fight might happen.
You know, at the end of the day, they're 2 great pound-for-pound fighters, and if they feel like, you know, it makes sense and they want to fight each other, stylistically, it's a great fight. But, you know, Canelo, he's a big dude. So I think it'd be hard for anyone to beat him at 168. But, you know, it's definitely a big money fight, and that's why we're all in boxing, you know, to make the biggest fights and try to be great.
You know, since you've been gone, there have been a lot of exhibition fights. What do you make of stuff like Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson?
It's entertainment. Definitely entertainment. It's a big difference between boxing and entertainment. I wouldn't call it a boxing fight. You know, it's definitely for entertainment and, you know, give the fans something to watch and entertain the fans around the world who love Tyson, who love Jake Paul.
How do you think that plays out?
I'm not too sure. You know, I just hope, you know, everyone has fun and makes a lot of money.
You just mentioned, Danny, that it's just entertainment between Jake Paul and Mike Tyson. Do you think, and it's not boxing, do you think Jake Paul is a boxer? Would you classify him as a boxer at this point?
Yeah, definitely. I would consider him a boxer for sure because, you know, he's faced the real boxer in Tommy Fury. And even though he's fighting a lot of MMA fighters and beating them, but he's putting the work in. You know, he's doing real training camps, he's sparring real fighters, and he's going there and fighting. So I would definitely consider him a real boxer now. And that's why a lot of these guys are getting knocked out by him. It's because they're saying that he's not a real boxer, but he really is. So you got to come and train like, you know, the guy's taking it serious. So you can't look at it like that. You got to look at it like I'm fighting a real boxer, and maybe one of these guys could beat him.
Danny, you mentioned this fight's been brewing for 2 years. It's been on, it's been off. You thought he was going to fight this date, that date. A, did you think that this fight may fall through the cracks? And B, for the past 2 years, have you been focused solely on Lara, or were there other guys, you know, in the last couple of years that you went down the road contractually with?
To be honest, I really just forgot about it. I wouldn't even really think about fighting. I was just enjoying, you know, I had 2 more kids. I had my daughter Palace, she's just turned 2. I just had a son 2 months ago. I wouldn't even really think about boxing. I mean, I started my boxing promotion. You were there that night in Philly, so I did 2 promotional cards. And I was just keeping my head on other things, you know, staying busy, watching these young guys train, always keeping my head in the game, watching boxing. But to be honest, I wouldn't even think about boxing, you know, until I got the call. And I was like, let's do it.
So the Lara fight, it was there, then it died, then I guess got rekindled, I guess?
Yeah, I mean, you got like 6 weeks ago, I wasn't even thinking about boxing. You know, and they called me and say, look, you want to fight on the the Canelo undercard versus Berlanga? I said, you know, it makes sense. Berlanga's a Puerto Rican. I'm a Puerto Rican. I'm a big draw. You know, I could make history winning the middleweight title. So how can I say no?
Danny, Danny, just one question for you. You know, you've had a long career. You're obviously well known. You've done awesome things. You've always managed to stay out of the news and the headlines. You know, recently Devin Haney was just in the headlines. Any message for young guys like that? How to stay out of the headlines, how to keep themselves out of problems that you've managed to avoid your whole career?
I mean, it's tough, you know, because you walk on thin ice. Like, I'm pretty sure he probably, sometimes when you see all that stuff on the internet, and it's like somebody says something to you in person, it's like, it's on site. I'm tired of people trying to pick on me on the internet, and then you see somebody say something to you in person, it's like, they're going to press you. So maybe he was just tired of, you know, maybe that guy said something to him. I mean, I would never say it's okay for you to go hit somebody, hit a fan in public or anything, but sometimes, like, there's only so much you could take, and then somebody say, like, you can only be the bigger guy so many times, but, you know, you should never put your hands on nobody at the end of the day. But I understand both sides, you know what I mean? Like, you could be tired of people bullying on the internet, you could be tired of people saying stuff, and you always got to be the better guy. But at the same time, you got to be a professional, and you got to learn how to just turn your cheek and walk away and just let your team handle that. And, you know, what happened. It's tough. It's tough. Trust me. I've been there before. Sometimes fans say wild shit to you. They'll curse at you. Sometimes you got fans that are aggressive, try to, you know. you got all types of things you gotta like turn your cheek on all the time. It's hard to just, sometimes you might be eating with your family and somebody just come over the table, want to talk and want a picture. It's tough, being a professional and just try to be a regular person. But at the end of the day, you always gotta think about, the aftershock. Is this really worth what comes with next? And that's what you really gotta think about.
2 more questions, guys. 2 more.
This is obviously significant moments in your career. It is, in fact, the historical point in boxing.
For sure.
Is there any different mental preparation going into some sort of historical being a champion? How you mentally prepare for a fight?
This is, to me, it's a dream come true. And I feel rejuvenated. I feel good because I haven't fought in 2 years, but my mind was always in the game. And it's not like when you got a fight on your mind for so long, you just kind of like, your mind gets tired and you just train years for that. But for me, I feel good. I feel like there's a rebirth for Danny Garcia.
Is there any other pressure added on to such a historical moment? Again, being the world champion and stuff like that.
There's always a little bit of pressure. But like, A.J. Brown told me from the Eagles, he said pressure's made up in the head. So if you think it's pressure, it's pressure.
They say
It's all in your mind. It's how you feel.
they say a happy fighter is a dangerous fighter.
Absolutely.
You seem really happy right now. What's
Yeah.
the change? Is it not much of a weight cut? Is it too thin?
That's always good. I ate 2 times this today already. If I was fighting 147, I'd be here thirsty. But no, it's just I'm grateful. That's all it comes down to. I'm grateful. I had a long career. I'm grateful still to be here, fighting at a big stage, getting the opportunity to be win another world championship and make some money. At the end of the day, this is for my legacy, this is for my children, this is for my family, and this is what it's all about. This is what boxing is all about, is winning championships and feeding your family. Even if that's what it's not for, then I don't know what you're fighting for.
Thank you, guys.